How's it going, Nate?
Oh, pretty good.
That's good.
I had some curveballs thrown at me today, but I hit them, so it's good.
Like this?
Like this. Well, they're extremely curvy. They're like coming to my face.
I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Well, congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome here, everybody. Welcome to another Guitareo live Q&A. Yeah, we're going to answer some questions. We're going to hang out. Nate's got a cool new toy.
Oh, finally.
Beautiful.
After 4 months of waiting and annoying you guys with, it's coming, it's coming.
And we just uploaded the video of that to YouTube.
Yeah.
Just launched.
Awesome.
Just launched. Very cool.
I'll be in the members area tomorrow morning.
Should be very quickly.
And there's a discussion that goes with the video. It's not just an unboxing.
That's right.
It's like a legit,
That's right.
not a concern, but like issue. So weigh in on it once it's up, or you can go to YouTube and weigh in on it too right now.
Very
Right?
nice. Yeah, absolutely. Go on YouTube and check it out. Sorry, I was just making sure I actually had the stream up. For some reason, it wasn't working. Anyways, you guys can submit questions. You can do those in chat next to the video player, or you can email them and they will go to Nate's inbox, and we'll answer them. I would say, do you guys want, maybe today a good question is like, what guitar are you looking at maybe getting? I know there's a post in the forum where you're talking about how many guitars is too many, and how many guitars do you really need, and
all of them.
What is your dream guitar, stuff like that. I'd love to know from you guys your thoughts on all that, and I'm sure we'd be happy to talk about that.
I've got the fever for the guitar has passed, but now the amp fever has started up with a vengeance.
Ooh, I thought you were off amps for a while there. I was like,
I would
Nate
like to
is
be
completely on the Helix train.
I want a Kemper, but that's $3,000, man.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Crazy expensive. The Axe Effects just released their new floor model thing.
Yeah, I feel like I'd be
1500,
taking a step sideways
I know.
with the Helix.
The Kemper is pretty cool.
But yeah, I was telling Andrew, I got a lot of gear to talk about today. If you guys don't have any questions, I'll tell you after we get the opening jam in.
Yeah.
I'll disperse the gear nonsense.
There you go. So if you guys do have questions, though, make sure you send those in so that Nate doesn't talk about gear for a whole hour.
And he's like, oh, God. I want to go to the guitar store after this in Vancouver. That's how bad it is.
And that's like what? Like it's like a 45-minute drive.
Well, this time of day, it's going to be terrible.
Oh, yeah, it's going to suck. Okay, let's play.
Cool.
I don't remember the tempo, so it's just going to be what it is.
Okay.
What I said I was going to play. It's fun to play in that tuning. Normally, I would play something like that in like a dadgad, right? But all I did was drop one string, and then you just play like an open D chord, which I was playing like a suspended. Yeah. So then it's like you can
pick.
Because you played,
I played mostly minor stuff over it.
Yeah, you played minor stuff, but then when you went to play the chord, you went.
Yeah.
And it sounded really cool. I think that's one of the cool things. I mean, it's essentially what you do in blues, right? Because the same idea. So. Both major and minor right there. Yeah, that's cool.
Cool. That's fun. That's a good jam. We should make a jam track for that.
It's a fun one. It's a little bit of a different style, right?
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of that song that you and Chelsea have, actually.
Oh yeah, I guess.
Which song am I thinking of? We played it once. Yeah. That one? Yeah, that one.
Yeah, some vibe there for sure.
Yeah. That's what that makes me think of now. Whenever I play like drop D kind of style
Or if you play
stuff.
swampy stuff. Swampy.
That is kind of what it is, isn't it? Swampy stuff. Okay, well let's start it off with. I see Randy immediately jumped in here with something. That's awesome.
Randy?
So Randy and I work together a lot. You guys see Randy in here a lot. We do a lot of our jobs kind of intertwine. We do a lot of stuff. So we talk a lot. We went to a concert together recently. I feel like my opinions on music gear and music are slowly rubbing off on him because he's a total metalhead and he just in here says he's looking at an Epiphone Casino.
Awesome. Gary Clarke.
Do it. Gary Clarke Jr., man. Plays
something like that. He has all these solid body, like RG type guitars.
Yeah.
Something like that is so different. It's really nice to have.
That's one thing. So, I mean, I don't want to get too into it right away. I haven't got coffee here. Like, I feel like it's like I'm ready to have a conversation. But that whole idea of like minimal guitars to cover the most ground, or like lots of guitars to cover like very specific areas, or one guitar to try and do like the one-trick pony thing, which no guitar really can do, but there's guitars that can do it really well compared to others. It's like that topic is so interesting because there's no right answer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's like I know people who have spent $10,000 on one beautiful guitar, and then I know people who've spent like $200 on like 50 guitars, right? Like 200 each, not like for all of them. But like it's like, and there's kind of no right answer. I think I have a right answer, but
It was the right answer for you.
yeah, exactly.
But that's like it's like moral relativism. This actually exists because your needs are not the same as my needs.
Exactly.
Right.
That's so true. So that's part of the topic. So Randy, you should buy an Epiphone Casino. That would be really cool.
It just dawned on me that this is the most expensive guitar I've ever actually laid money out for.
Really?
Yeah.
And so, if you don't mind me asking, how much is? I mean, people could look at Sweetwater.
I think it's like 2,400 Canadian.
Okay, so like 1,900, 1,800 US, 1,900, about $2,000?
Something like I think my Les Paul. I think Les Paul's 22.
US.
Yeah, no.
Oh, Canadian.
Yep.
So that's the closest second,
Yeah.
I guess, because you
I think
have
so.
like a Strat.
Strat that was like 14 or 16,
Okay.
something like
yeah.
that.
Yeah. I guess it also depends what the dollar's like when
Yeah, exactly.
up here.
It's relative. Yeah.
Yeah, the last like couple years it's been pretty
Pretty
yikes.
Pretty expensive when you go to the guitar store.
Yeah, exactly. Well, before we get into that guitar too much, I just want to make sure I'm caught up in the chat here. Let's see. So, Lewis says, Nate, you are not helping me with my guitar habits. Now I want a Fender Acoustasonics?
Is it one of the guitars?
Yeah, what is
Yeah.
that thing?
I think you're
Acoustasonic?
right.
Telly kind of thing? Those are really interesting. I think we've talked about them a little bit
Yeah.
before.
I still haven't seen one in person.
I have not either, nor played one. I really like the idea, but I think the hard thing for me is like, why would I not just want an acoustic and an electric?
Yeah.
Instead of like the redheaded stepchild, like weird. But I mean, the thing is like, yeah, like, but like, I say it's weird because of what I personally like, but I know there's people out there who are like, this is my perfect instrument,
Yeah, for sure.
right? Let's see, Daphne says, I want to get an acoustic electric next. I'm still thinking about an Ibanez guitar I played the last time I went to buy strings.
Oh, you're still thinking about it, huh? It's a good sign.
Because she's probably going to end up buying it.
We're going to have to start an AA group for guitar buying.
Man, I have not spent money on
GA.
guitar. Well, no, that's a lie. I bought that big Sky. I was going to say, I haven't spent money on guitar in like a year.
Forever.
Okay, other than that, I haven't spent money on guitars in a long time. I've been very, very happy with my quaint, small, little collection. Which Ibanez are you looking at? I'd be curious, because when you say acoustic electric, are you talking about like what this is? This is an acoustic electric, right? Because it's an acoustic guitar with an electronic system. Or are you talking about like a semi-hollow or full hollow body electric guitar? I'd be curious. Because the Ibanez Art Core, I don't know if they still call it Art Core.
I think they do.
But those like
some of them.
jazz kind of big body guitars are electric guitars, and they wouldn't actually be acoustics, right? Let's see. Steven says, I don't understand the Acoustasonic Telly. It's a mediocre acoustic bundle with a mediocre electric, all for a silly high price of $2,000.
I can't comment on that because I haven't played it.
I would need to play it too to say for sure. I don't know what would make
The
it.
specs on it look pretty good. The
Well,
specs
that's-
on it
yeah.
reflect the price.
That's what I would say. Like I would say, I don't see how it would be a mediocre acoustic or electric.
Yeah.
As far as maybe functionally, like it's like it doesn't go all the way to an electric guitar and it doesn't go
Not like
all the way to an
quality-wise.
acoustic. Quality-wise, I would not say that at all. At least, but it's hard because it's just from reading spec sheets.
Yeah, I have no idea what the actual, like the single coil pickup, actual magnetic pickup would sound like. It'd probably sound like a thin line telly, I would imagine.
I would think so.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have to play one really to say. I'm the type of person to kind of talk poorly about anything that's not like in my wheelhouse. But I've learned like over time like that there's just so many preferences out there. It's really hard to say like, hey, this is bad for everybody. It's like there's very few things that are just not right for everybody.
We were talking about, I have a lot of gigs where I can't take an amp.
Yeah.
Like fly stuff or just places where they don't want amps. And we're talking about this pedal. It's basically an amp simulator and a guitar cabinet emulator in a pedal. So you just put it on your pedal board at the end of the channel. I know Andrew would never use that, but I'm like, thank God finally somebody made that so I don't have to deal with, having a Kemper, spending $3,000 on a Kemper or whatever.
Well, totally. And that's the thing is like I don't do fly gigs.
You would have no use for that.
I would have no use for it, but the thing is like so it's not filling a need for me, but for you it's like such a necessary part of equipment.
And you're looking $300.
Well, that's the cool thing. So, who's it made by again?
Amplifier
With an F, you said, right?
with an F, yeah. Atomic. I think Atomic is the name of the. I don't know.
It's not that orange Atomic thing, right?
It's like red orange. Like, it looks kind of like a multi-pedal board.
I think we
it's,
saw that at NAMM.
This is the size of the one pedal.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it was like a.
But they have a smaller one now.
Yeah, a smaller one. Yeah.
Oh, so I know exactly what that is. That's very cool. Very cool. I know there's
It's like this size.
like just like a big like stomp box.
Yeah.
Which one is it? It's the Electro Harmonix Magnum 44.
I've heard of it. I don't know much about it.
It's basically doing what I think you'd consider it a power amp. I think is essentially what it is.
It's power too.
Yeah, Randy would correct me because he knows about it. But in all like my research of because I used to like when I would play or when I do play, I don't anymore, but I used to always take a backup amp with me.
Yeah.
Just because like I was always scared when I'd play at like festivals that they would do a weird thing with the power and like I'd blow fuses or like something stupid would happen. And I use vintage tubes in my amp. Like I went and bought like new old stock tubes. And so I'm always like a little bit scared of that type of stuff. I haven't been lately just out of like sheer laziness. And also I only have one amp these days. But when I went to the 2 amp thing to like have a backup amp, I was looking at options, and the Electro Harmonix makes this thing called the Magnum 44, and it's like that big, like it's tiny, and you can it replaces your amp, and I think it's got a speaker out, is what it has.
That's cool.
And it comes out of your pedal board right into, and people I'm a big Dr. Z fan, but on the Dr. Z forum are saying it sounds exactly like the EZG50, which is my amp.
That's nuts.
And I mean, my EZG50 is like $2,500 US for the head, and this pedal's like
couple $100,
$120 or something like that, which is so funny, right?
Yeah, that's nuts.
But I'm just going to continue to justify that my head is worth it.
Well, like the thing with this amplifier Atomic thing, like for a backup pedal, like even if I'm not using it, just having it on my pedal board in case my amp craps out on me. That's really attractive.
No, absolutely. And that's, I need to actually think about something. Now that I'm down to 1 amp, I should probably think about that. I sold an amp so that I could upgrade to more
guitars.
Nice guitars.
There is a question in the live box.
Let's get it.
And it's for you.
Oh.
It says, let me see if I can see it. It's from D. Wessel. It says, hey Andrew, I like your video on starting.
Probably the improvising one?
Yeah, I think so. Can you show how to put chords to that backing track? Oh.
Yeah, I can. If you want to play along to that back track. I don't have the backing track here, but I remember it. It's basically just slow dancing in a burning room.
Okay.
Is all I did it over. So let's do it quick. Did you watch through that whole lesson 8? Do you know what I
know the basic idea of it, but I didn't watch the whole thing.
Okay, so all I did was and then I would just have them play. So I just had them play the root notes of each chord, which is C sharp minor. I would play sus2 and then E major. And then I would use I taught them that tiny shape. Then you follow the chords as the jam track goes along. So if you want to chord along to it, we play in the key of E major or C sharp minor, which for like acoustic guitar players or people that only play open chords, automatically is scary because you have C sharp minor, which is, right, you play like a big bar chord, and same with B major, which is in the bridge or the B section. A sus2 is very straightforward and E major is very straightforward, but that C sharp minor is kind of daunting for people. But there's this trick that I talk about all the time with every key, like not every key, but like D, C, B major, like you can do it in A, you can do it in, so like F sharp minor, like, you do it in so many keys, which is leave the B and E string open. And you obviously probably do this when you play C sharp minor, like especially, this is a big worship music trick.
Yeah, for sure.
And all it is you just play a C sharp minor power chord. So if you go to the A string on the 4th fret, there, right? 6th fret there on the D string. And then we just add our pinky underneath on the G string, on our 3rd string, on the same 6th fret. So we're just playing this power chord. And I'm just using this finger just to mute that low E string. And then I leave the B and the E open. So, and that's my C sharp minor chord. It's that simple. What would this actually be? It sounds like it might be like, it's not suspended.
It's minor 7 because there's a B in there.
Yeah, that would be minor 7, yeah. So that would be my C sharp, and then what I would do is when I go to the A, which is the 2nd chord in that progression, I would leave these fingers and do that, and my thumb comes over to mute the low E string. If you want, you can just be accurate with your picking and not lazy like me, which is...
You're safe. That's insurance.
Yeah, exactly. But born out of that is laziness, which is I just play them all and don't think about it.
I think it sounds kind of cool to get that thumpy.
You do get like the extra thwack. But I'm then playing that A chord with the B and E strings open, with my pinky and my... So it's a little weird kind of way of playing the A, but it's an A sus2, so... And I'm just muting this like this. You go. And then just a regular E major. And that's the whole thing is just... Oh, that's that cool thing you do.
All right.
And then the B, when you go to the B section, the only thing that's happening differently is there's a B chord in there, so. And we do the same shape as the C sharp. Even though it's a C sharp minor, when we play a B, it becomes a B major. And I'm doing the same thing with the B and E strings open. Just like that, same shape. And I think the chord progression is, back to that. You can play along with the whole track. It's just an A and a B section, so it's the, I think it's the pre-chorus kind of like chorusy part is that B section. I don't know for sure, but it's the way I learned to improvise. Yeah. That's what that section is. But yeah, you can easily play along like that, and then obviously the improvising part that goes along with that is just. You're just following the notes.
Are those the voicings that you used on the jam track?
For the chords? I think I played...
So same idea, just with the E shape instead of the A?
Like you're talking about... Oh, yeah. So essentially I'm doing the same thing, but I'm just playing on the low E string. The reason I think I did this... I think it was just out of like random happenstance. Sometimes I'll choose different when I'm recording, because I record analog like the guitar parts, which you obviously do as well. But when I do it whatever's the easiest movements quite often, so that there's like less flubbiness because it'll sound tighter. So like. Like if there's more movement between the chords, I will opt usually for something in a rhythm guitar track that's like the least amount of hand movement. So like I can make this sound a lot cleaner, which. So, and all I'm doing is just doing E shapes. But same thing with those two strings open. Oh, I got a lot of chat to catch up with.
I'm just telling myself that I asked for it, apparently.
Wait, what? Oh, that's funny. That's funny. The email there. Okay, so I just don't want to miss anything here. Daphne says, I heard that Jack White is getting a custom Acoustasonic guitar for his tour. Very cool. So it'll be interesting to see, because I'm actually a pretty big Jack White fan. Older Jack White, probably. I haven't listened to his like most recent thing, but he did an album after the White Stripes that was like awesome guitar music. Really liked it. So I'll be interested to see what he does, because creatively I like what he does. So
It's gonna sound like his stuff doesn't sound different enough already. There's gonna be some odd things, which I mean, cool.
definitely. I'm excited for that. Randy then says, I have an active pickup 7-string and a 6-string super Strat. The other two guitars I want are a single coil Strat or Tele and a semi-hollow body P90. He said a hollow body P90, so maybe like a full-on jazz box.
Yeah.
Jazz box, full-on hollow bodies, I pretty much recommend to nobody, unless you are specifically doing jazz. Those things feedback like crazy, unless you want to look at like a 330. 330s they're smaller bodied, like they're narrower, so you don't get like so much buildup of sound that will feedback. But very cool. Let's see. T says my next one will be an auto harp. Hey, that's cool. Do it.
I want to watch you tune it.
That would be awesome. Daphne said I would have bought it if I could have afforded it. Yeah, I mean, that's the hard thing about guitars. Like,
Yeah.
it's easy to be irresponsible.
That's the thing. Like if you don't have a lot of people, they don't have a choice to like make do with what they have. Like two stories come to mind. This guy named Daniel Guitareo, I think is the way you say. He's like virtuoso, insane musician. He's played the same Strat his entire life.
Cool. That's really cool.
And I saw a guy when I worked at Guitar Center. He was doing whatever their competition was.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about though. Yeah.
He played on like his guitar he'd had since he was like 10, and it was a Squire Strat, and he like I think he won that round. I don't think he won the whole thing, but he won that round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, guitars specifically, I've said this a million times, but for me, the guitar is like feel will matter and stuff like that. But when it comes to like the actual sound and everything else that goes along with that, good setup, cheaper guitar, but more expensive amplifiers. Or whatever that amp thing is going to be, is going to get you way further.
Yeah, I think so.
And that's more if you're gigging. If you're not gigging and you're doing stuff at home, or you really appreciate like craftsmanship and stuff, then nice guitars, they feel great with a good setup. I mean, that guitar feels amazing to just sit there and play because it's an expensive guitar. We have some cheaper ones here as well, and with a really good setup though, like the sound, if we A/B'd blindfolded and said which is better,
They just sound different.
they just sound different. So, and that's coming from, I've said this a ton of times, and that's coming from somebody who will only really get the more expensive instruments, but really the value to the way that they sound, it's not really reflected in the amount of money you spend.
I think my Tele, well, when it's still got some issues with frets and stuff, but when it's like functioning 100%, that sounds just as good as a $2,000 Tele.
Sure.
It's I think it was $700 or $800.
Yep. Yeah. And I mean, a lot of I was even saying in the forums the other day, like I played my other guitar player's Tele the other day, this was maybe just over a week ago, just through my rig, and it's like terribly set up, like so bad. The neck's been shimmed because he decided to put a different body on it, just crazy. But it's one of those road-worn, Mexican-made road-worn ones. I think he paid like $700 for it or something like that. And the thing sounds like a $3,000, $4,000 guitar. It just sounds amazing. And it just kind of like, it put that whole bug back in the back of my brain of like, I
Dang
need
it.
a telly now. But at the same time, it kind of makes you realize like, it's like, really you get like a nice guitar for maybe that $500 to like $800 range. That's kind of like the sweet spot for, at least for me, for like tone. I could talk about this stuff forever, so I'm gonna move on. Let's see. Steven brought up, if you're willing to spend a little over $1,000, you need to look at the Yamaha AC5R, best bang for the buck in that price range.
Is that the Les Pauly looking one? Or is that
was that an acoustic?
That's acoustic, yeah.
Was that the
AC.
one we were talking about last week?
I think so, yeah.
AC5.
Or at least it's very similar.
I think it was the one that, because he mentioned, picking it up instead of the Taylor, because it's like the same specs, but yeah, looks awesome. I haven't played one. I would need to play one to say for sure. Then Randy, oh man, I'm way behind, guys. I'm sorry. Randy said it's a power amp, talking about the Magnum 44.
Okay,
so yeah, so it is a power amp. And Randy has one. Huh. Why did I forget that you had one?
I knew he had something like that. I don't know which one it was.
Okay, and then Steven followed up saying, my point is on the Acoustasonic is that as an acoustic guitar, you could buy a better one for $2,000, and as an electric, you could buy a better, totally.
I would completely agree with you on that.
The market for this guitar is people who need an acoustic and an electric guitar for the same gig, and are too poor and are too lazy to bring two guitars. I think, like if you look at like New York gigging players,
that are taking the subway.
Don't have a car, have to take public transit, and like I've talked to quite a few of those people. I remember Asher.
Yeah.
Remember Asher? Yeah. It's like you can't have a hard case for your guitar. You get a gig bag, you get one guitar, and the lightest amp you can possibly find. Yeah. That's what you gig with. And that's most players in New York or in those big cities. Like Vancouver would probably be the same because most of those people don't have cars and they have to carry everything around like miles to get to gigs sometimes. So.
That's right, man.
But I do know what you mean. Like if I had, I would probably even spend like $1,000 on acoustic and $1,000 on electric if it were me. But go ahead.
They're like Taylor T5s, kind of try to fill that niche.
That was from a while back.
I think they made a decent acoustic sound. I don't think the electric sounds ever good at all. And this, I think, has a chance. So if you're like in a cover band where you're playing 80% acoustic, 20% electric, it makes a ton of sense.
And one thing to keep in mind is plugged-in acoustic guitar is really hard to get to sound good, like especially on a big stage. A lot of times, people will even just use like piezo, electric guitar style stuff with piezo just to deal with like the feedback stuff anyway. And that does solve that issue. Like it's a guitar that you'll get a good acoustic sound out of, and it's probably not going to feed back like crazy or anything like that. Let's see. Oh, that pedal that I was talking about, the Magnum 44, it's 220 Canadian. So that's pretty cheap for something like that.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Let's see.
So many things, so little time. I'm almost out of debt, people.
Congratulations.
Almost game on.
Congratulations. Yeah, and then you're going to be buying like...
You get an amp, and you get an amp.
You're giving away amps?
No.
No, that's awesome.
Me, myself, and I.
That's awesome. No, that's really cool. So we expect to see a Kemper soon then.
I don't know, man. I still don't know if it's worth $3,000.
I know. I was talking to Randy right before I came down here about Kempers specifically, and just about, because Axe Effects Fractal, which is kind of one of their big competitors, Kemper's competitors, just released a new version of their floor unit, and it's pretty affordable. It's, I would say, more of a, it's closer to like the Helix, like trying to do what the Helix is doing, because I think they're in the same price range, right? But man, having a Kemper at home to just put on the desk, I want to do a different guitar sound when I'm recording, and you just like plug it in, select it, and go.
See, I still have Helix Native on my computer.
Totally, and that's the software that would have been in the floor thing.
But I don't know. Like the good thing about it is, if I get one, I don't like it. The resale value is really good on them. So
Right.
Basically, I have to pay the tax and a couple $100 more.
Yeah, right. That makes sense. I don't know, man. If it were me and I were you, I would do the thing where I just bought a bunch of heads instead.
That's what
one of those.
The long-term Nate is saying. The lazy Nate is saying, just get a Kemper.
It is the easy solution, and it is the more economical. In
the long run, yeah.
Economical solution. Okay.
But what I did is I took this past week. I took I don't know if you know Lab Series amps. It's what B.B. King played through on his first however many albums.
I don't even think I'm familiar
and
with
then,
those.
King's X, that's what they used for their first like 4 or 5 albums. And what I did is I took the direct out from it because the power section on my amp is broken. It's from the 70s.
Okay.
And I just put an IR,
Yep.
an impulse response,
Yep.
and Logic. Played it. And I was like,
Came alive.
oh my goodness, this is ridiculous.
Man, like, I'm still forever a purist when it comes to guitar amps, but digital solutions and stuff are coming a long way there. And who knows, 10 years from now, 5 years from now, it's gonna be close, it's gonna be close. There is something very special, I will say, about standing in front of a cranked up tube amplifier.
The only time I ever get to do that is in here when there's nobody else in
Yeah,
here, and I'm
yeah.
not using it for anything productive. except-
Totally.
Yeah.
It's tough, like, because you don't play a lot of rock gigs anymore, right?
No.
Where you don't really get to do that. Yeah, see, the only gigs I play are those
those
where I can
big where you
be
can crank it
really
up.
loud. And that feeling of standing in front of that amp is so
And you have a good setup at home for being able to crank your amp too. So.
I've told you guys before, I built a box with a speaker inside of it that's fully insulated like 5 times, so I can record at home and not make noise that the neighbors can hear because I live in a townhouse like shared walls.
Yep.
Any questions in there? Otherwise, I can keep going through chat.
Nope.
Still lots to get through. Some to get through. I don't think there's lots. Daphne asks, what Tom Petty song is Heartbreak Avenue based on?
It's based off of 2. I think it was like obviously Free Falling, and I think Learning to Fly too. I think was the other one that I kind of listened to at the time. Mostly Free Falling.
I love that song. Oh, I'm trying to remember. Do I remember it?
I have no idea what key it's in.
What was that? What was it?
It's the G sus4.
And then
I don't know what key it's in though.
yeah. I think it's close to there. It might be capoed.
Maybe.
When I
No,
hear
probably
that
is.
song, like this will show my age a little bit. I just think of the John Mayer version.
I haven't even heard it.
You haven't heard the John Mayer version? Oh, it's good.
Oh, I have no doubt.
It's very, very good. Oh, maybe I am caught up. Let's see. Lewis says, hey guys, it would be really cool if you could take one of these sessions and spend dedicated time on theory around the popular chord progressions and how we can solo over them. Just a thought / request.
For sure.
Love
we can
to.
do that.
We can save that or we can...
Let's give it a whole hour's worth at some point.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
So specifically the theory, yeah, I mean, that's a really good topic.
So
Especially, we can kind of talk about our 2
Yeah,
different
approaches.
approaches.
Especially if we keep it diatonic, it would be like super.
Yeah, which
Relevant.
if we're doing popular stuff,
Yeah.
probably makes the most sense. Daphne just mentioned the play along has A2, E major, and then D. Is that how Heartbreak Avenue is those chords? That's it for chat here. Do you want to talk a little bit about your new instrument? Tell us a little bit about it.
It's not a whole lot. Well, I don't know.
I don't
What do I
know.
want to say? I've had lots of guitars with coil taps on them before, and they've been That's the best one I've had so far, as far as coil tap. But it's
Best sounding single coil sound?
Yeah, but it's still a little bit bright on the single coil stuff. You have to back the tone knob off if you switch to it. This one. So single coils. And the same thing for the bridge. It's the closest I've gotten that's like, I'm not sitting here thinking, man, that's too bright. Or
Yeah.
It's just like. Closest thing is like there is a volume difference, but like you can use a boost pedal or something like that if you need to
Yeah.
to balance it out a little bit. If not, If you don't care about that, if you have a good sound man, or if you just play it on your own.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like I'm switching back and forth between humbuckers and single coils a lot anyways. So.
If you are going into an amp that is compressing, so you
Then it doesn't matter
you're
as
not
much,
gonna
yeah.
you're just gonna notice like a cleanliness difference, which is probably what you would kind of
that's what I
want, right?
Yeah.
It sounds like I'm in the room with the amp. It sounds almost acoustic-y with the single coils, hey?
That's and if you do it in the middle position, it's even more so. It's almost like
really
just
has
natural.
Yeah,
like
very
it's just
natural open sound.
Nothing between the guitar and like the strings. It's just, I guess, it's like transparent pickups. I guess I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah. Was there a reason you went for something that did do splitting coils?
Just versatility. Like if I'm gonna be in a cover gig or something, or
like a song calls for a specific. So it's kind of like the acoustasonic thing, but within
for
the
like
electric guitar
exactly.
type thing.
I'm lazy. But if I need a Strat sound, I'm not going to use this guitar. I'm going to go grab my Strat. Right?
Totally. But there's like some.
But if I just need a single coil sound, then I will just probably consider this.
Well, I wouldn't say, because I have my guitar that's all semi-hollow, does the split coil thing. And for me, it's like when I'm playing that guitar, I'm really just on the humbucker sounds most of the time. But the single coil sound is not trying to do what my Strat or my other like Tele style guitar is doing. It's like it's doing its own single coil sound, which I think is really cool. Like it's a unique palette part of your paint colors.
Spectrum. It's like a spectrum you didn't even know was missing until you have it.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Did you pick that color for a reason?
I did, just because I liked it. I was either this or blue, so.
That or blue, okay. I think you made the right choice with the color.
I told my wife if she was a guitar, that she would be this, because it's brown and it has birds on it.
That's beautiful.
She has a tattoo.
Oh, she has tattoos. Yeah. Oh, that's so funny. That is so funny.
So
yeah,
I
it's a
have
cool
a feeling
guitar.
that she's going to be borrowing this in the future. We'll see.
She has that gold Strat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Let's see.
This is a testimony for you guys that are looking for good overdrive pedals. My full tone OCD pedal just died. It'll be the third time to get it repaired, and I'm not doing that because it's unreliable. So I'm just gonna go buy a new one probably in the next couple weeks. I've had it for 14 years, and now that it's gone, it's like what do I do?
14 years, man.
So
I was in grade 9 14 years ago. The OCD was my first real distortion pedal. My first overdrive was Blues Driver, and I had the Blues Driver and the OCD were like my two go-tos for a long time. I still miss my OCD. I think it was an awesome pedal.
It's funny because my best friend has had one about the same time. His died last year.
Really? Yeah. So it's like they have a lifespan.
They definitely have a lifespan, man.
Oh,
that makes sense. I abuse the living crap out of that pedal.
Yeah. They sound awesome. They basically will make, to me, what they do is they do something similar to like, there's like a pedal called the Dirty Little Secret.
I don't think I've heard that.
It's made by Catalinbread, and which, have you ever heard of them?
Catalina dressing bread.
Catalinbread. And they make, it's designed to be like a JCM 800, JTM 45, kind of modeling thing, cranked Marshall thing. Yeah. The OCD in the high peak mode sounds a ton like that to me. It just basically takes your Fender amp and turns it very Marshall-y.
Into a Marshall.
That's what I hear, which is really cool. Let's see. Mary mentioned that Paul Reed Smith puts those on the fretboard to honor his mother, who loved birds. That's really cool.
She's a bird watcher. I didn't know that until like I think when we were at NAMM last.
Oh, okay, interesting. I'm like one of those people that I like dot inlays, and then my second favorite type of inlays are the birds.
The birds, yeah.
I like the birds more than block inlays. I'm not a big block inlay guy.
The only thing I'm not a fan of is like on that Strat, just black dots.
Okay.
It's not that I'm not a fan of it, it's just my least favorite.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, it's the most uninteresting, like, from an art form perspective.
I like the half little moons on Gretches.
Okay, not for me. I'm not as big a fan of those. I like the standard, what are these, mother of pearl that you put in?
Yep.
That's what that is? In a Rosewood fretboard?
On that guitar, they should be.
I would hope so. It's all preference, honestly. Okay, let's see. Mike says, did you guys ever think that your cover gigs were better than the main attractions? Oh, like have you ever done a cover that was better than the original?
Oh.
I think that's.
Have I ever done it? No. Have I ever listened to songs that I think the covers are better than the originals? Yep. I can't think of one. Oh, I heard one that I liked as much as the original this week, which really surprised me. You know, Aha, Take On Me? Weezer cover. I heard that for the first time this week.
And it was good?
It was good. I was like,
Take On Me is a cool song.
Yeah.
The vocals in it are really cool.
I was like, please don't butcher it, Weezer. But they didn't. They did a really good job.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, I All Along the Watchtower, Jimmy's version.
Yes.
Who did the original?
Was it Bob Dylan?
I think it's Bob Dylan.
Yeah. I know he wrote it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's a ton. As far as covers,
Speak.
we did okay. So I will say yes. One where we kind of took a song and it kind of became our song, because it was a really unknown artist, like really obscure artist, who I'm pretty sure is like just drugged out of his mind most of the time. I'm not going to mention his name, but the song's called Black July, and it's a really cool song. Like the main riff is like. And then it does like that. It's kind of like a blues progression thing, but the song's really cool, but the guys' performances of it are just like not good at all. But we loved the song, so we kind of turned it into our own, and we had a lot of people come up to us like, oh, that's such a cool song. And it's like, well, you should listen to the original. And then they said, the original's awful. So I won't mention the dude's name, but not that you would know who he is. He's very obscure. But I feel like that was like the one time where it's like, oh, there's other than that, covers never been able to do better than the original.
Yeah, like when I'm in cover bands, like we do the covers like the song.
Okay.
So
yeah. In that case, it's very hard to like rival the original.
Yeah.
The only way to do it is like if you totally change it, then your
come up with something
arrangement
fresh,
is
yeah.
different. Yeah. Let's see. Randy said Ayla is in the music video for that Take On Me by Weezer. So
Really?
Remember Ayla?
didn't see her.
Yeah. Oh yeah, her whole band is in that, I think.
I didn't
they
realize.
like dress up and do some funny stuff in the music video.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. That's so funny. We're hopefully having Ayla back out soon.
Fun.
To do some more stuff for us, which would be awesome. She's
to learn
great.
some new stuff.
She is awesome. Let's see, Daphne mentioned Johnny Cash covering the song "Hurt" originally by Nine Inch Nails comes to mind. Oh yeah, that version of that song is so good.
There's speaking of Johnny Cash, there's a cover out. Bethel does a cover of "Ain't No Grave." I don't know if Johnny Cash originally wrote that song or not, but that's the first recollection I have of hearing it. That's really good.
Oh, okay, that's very cool. I know this song. That's the first chord, but I don't remember the rest. Maybe we'll play that out, something like
Sure.
that. I don't remember the rest. I think that's right. I don't know. T mentioned Hendrix's Little Wing, done by Derek and the Dominoes, is a better version.
I like Steve. I do like Stevie Ray Vaughan's version of Little Wing better than Jimmy's. Don't throw a step at me.
You know what, Nate? I'll totally agree with you. I actually totally agree with you.
Like that song, when I first heard it, I was probably a year into playing guitar. I was like, what in the world?
Jimmy, like, best guitar player of all time, I think most people would agree, like, as far as influence and stuff.
Innovation or whatever.
And innovation for sure. But for me, Stevie was more, I was more of a fan of Stevie's playing.
The music just seethed out of that guy.
Yeah.
It's a volcano.
I liked, he played a lot cleaner. Like, not as far as like technique-wise, but like his tone was like quite clean.
Mm-hmm.
And he played like really fast stuff, but really clean, which is really hard to do. And I just thought that was really cool.
I agree.
I will continue on through here. Mary says Carrie Underwood's cover of I'll Stand By You, originally done by The Pretenders, is really good. Cool. I haven't heard that one. But she's awesome. Carrie Underwood's very talented.
This is going to sound stupid, but who does Signed, Sealed, Delivered? Is it, can you look that up, T? I actually like the California Raisins version better than the original one. I can't remember.
I've not heard the California Raisins.
Yep.
That's a hilarious band
They have
name.
the California Raisins movie. I'm like, that's a freaking great version of that song. Holy smokes.
Is that a band?
It's Claymation.
Oh.
Whoever did the music for that is really good. All the Motown stuff they did.
Okay,
is
yeah.
so good.
That's cool. There's definitely some movie scores out there that don't get enough credit, like amazing shows with amazing Stranger Things. Really cool music. If you ever watched that Netflix show, you probably haven't watched it.
I know, I've heard of it, but I haven't seen
The
it.
music's really cool. While T's looking that up, let's see.
Oh, I can look it
There's
up.
Stevie Ray's version of Voodoo Child. That's right. Daphne mentioned Stevie Ray Vaughan is part of the reason I wanted to learn to play guitar.
Me too.
Totally, same. And here's an actual question from Daphne as well. Is the capo supposed to go right over the fret or behind the fret?
Hold on a second, because
Sure.
this is a point of contention, and I want to give it full attention. Stevie Wonder. So that makes it even more like,
Wow.
what the heck? But I like it better. I don't know. I noticed something the other day. I used to always put the capo like right behind the fret. But
That's what I do.
If you have a capo where you can control the tension, do that. If you don't, if you just have it kind of like the Kaiser
Yep,
where it cranks
Kaiser,
down on,
yep.
do not put it right behind the fret because it creates so much pressure that I can't even get the angle to be with my finger because my finger isn't hard enough to be as sharp. It goes
It's
from
so
the
much
fret,
of
it
an
goes,
angle. Yeah,
Yeah.
good point.
But I didn't notice that. I was like, holy smoke. So when I have to use a Kaiser or something without a tension adjustment, I put it like in the front third, toward the front third, but not right behind the fret. If it's like a G7 or like a, what's the other one? Shub,
Yes.
then I'll put it pretty close to the fret.
I'm sure there's many premature fret jobs needing to be done because of that. Actually, it'd be hard on the frets.
I sold a guy a guitar one time, and he came in like probably 8 months later, and he was a beginner. He came in 8 months later. He was a singer. He was singing and playing in a cover band like 4 nights a week at that point.
Okay.
He came in. And he's like, I need to do something about this. His frets were almost gone on the first like 5 frets. It was a Martin.
Oh,
it was like,
man.
holy smoke, you need to get a different capo.
Yeah.
So.
The Shub ones are a little annoying to use.
are.
I really love the Shub ones though for accuracy and for just like the amount of tension that you can adjust.
I like the studio. They're great. In live, I like the G7s.
I'm the worst. I use a Kaiser if I'm playing live most of the time. I haven't done that
They are the
forever,
most, but I like the dual action trigger Guitareo ones. Would that have the little spring adjustment?
Oh, I've seen those.
That's one
yeah.
I try to use live unless my wife has it, and then I'll end up using a Kaiser. Or
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, Shub ones are awesome. And they're not that expensive. They're what, like $25 or something, like the $30. They're not too bad. Lots of other good suggestions in here. Daryl mentioned I put my capo upside down. Yeah, you can do either.
Yeah, like from the bottom.
Yeah. Premature, yeah, like, I'm just saying like prematurely having to redo the frets.
If I just crank on this every time I make a chord like as hard as I can, it's gonna wear the frets out a lot
It'll
faster.
slowly create like divots where the strings are in that particular fret,
Yeah.
and then obviously when you push down behind it or on that fret basically.
It's even more.
Yeah, it's like the string's not meeting that point. It basically screws with the action, the setup, and you'll get start getting rattle, you'll start getting buzz, all that type of stuff. So that's the idea, and the same can really be said when you push down too, like on a.
When you push down too hard.
Yeah, I always find the right amount of tension. I don't push super hard, and I've never had to refret any of my guitars that I've ever had.
I've had 3 fret dressings on 3 different guitars. And there's my acoustic needs another one. But it's only like the first 3 frets that are.
Right, which kind of makes sense.
I thought they could just get them replaced this time.
Daphne says, so where do I put the capo again? So if you have an adjustable one, you would put it as close to the fret as possible. You never put it over on the fret because it'll start to mute the strings past it. You want it to be behind the fret always. If you don't have an adjustable one that pushes quite hard, then probably in the middle, right?
Like a more towards the front, but like.
Yeah, just move it back from the fret a little bit.
Just move it back from the fret like a centimeter or a centimeter and a half too, something like that.
Yeah, so Daphne, the idea is, because I think she mentioned she has an adjustable one, the idea is just tight enough that you don't get rattle. So just past that point, basically as much pressure as you would need to push down with. So minimal, and that amount of pressure actually changes depending on where you're at with the neck because the thickness is different. And the amount of pressure required for that perfect spot is different. So that's why those adjustable ones that you might want to have minimal tension are annoying when you're playing live because you need to constantly set the tension. The Kaisers are nice because it's really hard all the time, so nothing's gonna buzz, but it's hard on your frets.
And G7 has an artist program for a third of the price, I think.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. So maybe we'll talk to them and do some giveaways or something.
That would be pretty cool, actually.
But the thing about G7 is they only hold down as hard as you push them down, and then they stick.
I've never used one.
Right. So they if I push it down that far,
Yeah.
it stays. If I push it down that far, it stays that far. So
Okay, interesting. It's like a one-way.
it's like a shub that's faster.
Yeah. Okay. I'll check those out. I've never used one. I've really only used the Kaiser. I used a Planet Waves one for a while, and then the Shubs. And that was just because I think like a lot of studio guys that I was a fan of were using the Shubs, so I was like, well, that's what I need. Nate just used centimeter. I think his American citizenship
Centimeter.
just got revoked.
I said 1/16 of an inch.
It's
an
funny.
eighth of an inch.
Before I
An
did
eighth.
stuff here, I worked in construction, and in Canada, everything we used was inches.
Really?
We all used inches and feet for everything.
It's
Yeah.
certain things around certain things are up here, certain things aren't.
I think it might be because we like do a lot of we import a lot of American goods that
Yeah,
we
makes
use to
sense.
build. So then it's like instead of doing the conversion, it makes sense. to
I
just use the same
hate
system.
dealing with inches on guitar. I always have.
Right.
They're
yeah.
not accurate enough. It's
Yeah.
not small enough.
Yeah.
I don't want a 1/64 of an inch. What the heck does that look like?
It does get a little bit weird. Yeah. Millimeters is like the perfect measurement.
Yeah.
For sure. I think we should probably wrap this up.
Wrap it up.
There are no more questions.
Oh,
that
I have
see.
one.
Okay, let's do that and then we'll end
Let's
it on
end
that.
with this one. This is from Al Denton. Hey man, what's up? I see a lot of people on Guitareo are 60 plus and have never played guitar before, like me. I have some of them had true success, and if so, what was the key? I'm not saying Hendrix solos, but rhythm guitar, Dylan to the Beatles, Nirvana, Foo Fighters, etc., etc.
That's a good question.
I think a lot of people have. Like a lot of the quote-unquote power users that are in the forum, like Les, he was already pretty good when he got here, but he's gotten a lot better. A lot of people
Tons of people.
can play music now, and that looks like what you want to do. And this is for all the members that are here all the time. I'm going to go on my broken record mode right now, but you have to set some very specific goals that you want to attain, and have songs as kind of, or music as the underlying like driving force behind those goals. So if you just say, I just want to be able to play music, that's way too broad. If you want to say, well, I want to play Foo Fighter songs, that's still way too broad. You need to pick a Foo Fighter song and then make some small goals around that. So I want to learn how to play my power chords, move those around, and I want to learn how to do palm muting and strumming. Now you're talking. You can work on those things in your practice time, a little bit at a time. Work on like those three things in your practice time. When you get them down, start slowly learning the song, and then in a month you're going to be like, hey, I can play the song, I can move power chords around, do palm muting, that kind of stuff, and that works with everything, with the open chords, whether it's learning like little lead licks or minor pentatonic lead things, like in the case of Jimi Hendrix, stuff like that. But setting small, tiny little goals, being really clear about what you want to do, and then making sure everything is always pointing to learning a song or learning music, whether it's learning covers or writing your own music.
I would suggest too, participating in student focus if you can.
Yeah.
Once you're kind of at that point where you're somewhat comfortable, like just doing the basics, because one of the drawbacks of like online learning is that you don't have someone there to like look and see. It's like, because you might not know you're doing some little thing wrong, and then that's what usually causes people to plateau. It's like, I'm doing this one thing that, it's like you have your elbow way out. It's like I can never get my chords to sound clean, and I'm just stuck there for years. And it's like if we would have just been able to see that person
Yeah.
and we go, oh hey, bring your elbow in, adjust your wrist so it's not kinked, and then it's like, oh, all of a sudden now you're able to do this thing, because you just might not even know. So if you can, student focus, or just even email videos of yourself to Nate.
Like if you don't want to have people see you playing guitar in public, just email me and say, do not put this in student focus.
Yeah.
And just send it to nathan@guitareo.com, and I'll just send you a private email response, like video response.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it. But like Nate said, sorry, go ahead, say what you're
No,
going to say.
I was going to say that's a very good segue to something we need to talk about before we end.
Oh, okay. But just to reiterate Nate's point, is that really short, focused, consistent, every single day, 10 to 30 minutes, whatever works for you, but like doesn't have to be long at all. Consistency. And even as an older person, if you're doing this for 30 days, 60 days, you get into 6 months, you will 100% be able to play rhythm guitar like how you want to.
And like
for sure.
If for every practice session you have, let's say you have 30 minutes of practice, you should pick one thing, like I'm going to focus on this, I'm going to get a little bit better at this today.
Yeah.
That could be putting your power chords on. If you could do that better at the end of your practice session than you could at the beginning, then you have success and you have gotten better.
Yeah.
If you didn't get better at that, then you're doing something wrong. You need to reevaluate how you're practicing or the goals to smaller little bite-sized pieces.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's good advice.
But I did just go to the forums right before the live lesson today, and I bumped up the thread for this coming month's student focus, which is it next? No, next Tuesday is the 30th, right?
So it'll be the one after.
So it'll be the one after. 2 weeks from today is the next student focus. So if you have videos that you want to be evaluated, just to get pointers on what you could be doing better or things that you're doing right, go to that thread. It's called, Student Focus Submissions?
I think that's right.
For May. It should be at the top of the forum right now. But go in there, put a link. Either you upload it to YouTube or you can email it to me directly, and I'll take it. Either way is fine. But it could be anything from just simple chord changes, a little bit of playing of a scale, playing an entire tune, improvising to a jam track, whatever it is. You have 2 weeks left. Actually, less than 2 weeks left, 13 days to get those video submissions in.
Make sure you do it. Student Focus is super awesome. We kind of get to come together more as a community.
Yeah.
Everyone's super positive too. Don't feel super scared. No one's gonna make you feel bad.
Yep.
We're all learning. So definitely do that. Anything else?
I think that's it. Oh. Thanks for answering my question. You guys are good. That's
Sweet.
from Al Denton. Cool.
Awesome.
You're welcome.
I'm going to then close it out by playing. I'm not going to do that exact chord progression, but I'm going to do a progression in A minor, and you play
minor.
along.